everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for your patience with me with coming to you live for Becoming Professionally Famous Online. It is episode number 7 and we're talking all things webinars, why you would want to run them and everything like that. So as you're joining, please let me know that you can hear me. That'd be really fantastic. Otherwise, pretty pointless continuing to speak. So webinars. One of the big reasons that you would want to run a webinar, a lot of people have seen lots and lots of different webinar campaigns going up around the place. And hey, Marie, welcome. Good to see you. There's a lot of questions around, aren't webinars dead? Why would I run a webinar? Are my people going to come to a webinar? Shall I do them live? So first of all, why would you want to run a webinar? To me, they're a little bit like Facebook Lives, right? They are or can be interactive. They give you the opportunity. Hey, Maxine, happy Tuesday. They give you the ability to be able to have a really in-depth conversation with the people who are on there, who are watching and things like that. Now, I am a massive advocate for running them live. That generally leads to, why would you run them live? Now, 2 things. So number 1, if you take a look at your industry and if you look at the number of people who are running webinars, would you say that the majority of them are doing pre-recorded ones, or are they doing videos, or how is it that they're actually facilitating the training? Now, no one else is doing them live. So to me, it's like, we have got this amazing opportunity, this big, massive gap in the market there where we're able to deliver a training that is of high value, that enables you to tailor a lot of the content on your webinar to the attendees who actually turn up live. So for example, when I run my webinars, hey Casey, when I run my webinars, I run them generally, unless I've been away, I generally run them once a week. They're usually on the same day, usually the same time. And often they're kind of pretty similar content depending on what it is that's going on and what's come up. Now, on there, we might have allied health professionals, lawyers, coaches, marketers, personal trainers, recruitment specialists, whatever, however many people. Hey, Louise, it doesn't really matter what industry people are in. When I'm running a webinar, I ask them, so let me know, what industry are you in? What are your biggest challenges right now? Because yes, I've got the curriculum or the format of the webinar set, but it enables me to say, Louise is a graphic designer. This is how this would be relevant for you. This is how you would apply it into your business. Now, whether you're business to business or whether you're business to consumer, if we look in the marketplace, what is missing? What is missing in your industry? The thing that is missing in your industry is people who actually give a shit about the people who are talking to them, people who care about the people who are paying attention, giving them massive value, right? So webinars are a really unique way of being able to connect, engage, and educate your audience and your market around what it is that you do. Now, some webinars are designed, or some people that run webinars want to pitch at the end, right? So they want to make an offer. They want to offer their book. They want to offer their course. They want to offer a strategy session. They want to offer whatever it is, an event. Now, what a webinar, the benefit of running a webinar is that you're essentially having a sales call over the course of that webinar. So by the end, people are sitting there and they're kind of in very 2 distinct camps. One group of people are like, you know what, I don't really feel like I know this person well enough by now. I'm going to go and research them or follow them for longer, or you know what, they're really not for me, I'm out of here. And the other group of people are people who are like, oh my gosh, this person seems real, authentic. They seem to know their stuff. Yes, I'm happy to buy or apply for their program or do whatever that next thing is with them. So it enables you to have a highly leveraged conversation because you're one person speaking to a big group of many. Okay, so that's really why webinars. Now, webinars are really great, like I said, in terms of having a very highly leveraged sales conversation, also very educational. I know that with every single person that is on my webinar, they walk away with value, whether they buy from me or whether they don't. I'm good either way. Hey, Mike, long time no see. So that's why you would run a webinar. Now, if your intention is to sell or make an offer or to pitch or, sell a book or sell a course or a program or whatever, there is a very definite structure that you want to follow throughout your webinar. So the way that I would look at it is this. If you've got your little pens or big pens, got your pens handy, I want you to write on your piece of paper the word Gavin going down your page like that. Gavin. Okay? Now, the first part of the webinar, so G, is all about gathering and creating rapport. So we welcome our attendees. Hey, so awesome to have you guys on the webinar today. I would very, very strongly recommend that you have your face on camera as well as showing slides. So have the slides on there. We don't want too much text on your slides. Have your camera showing, if you like, hey Kelly, because they see that you are a real person. They see the way that you articulate. They see the way you move. It proves to them that you are a real human who gives a shit, and it is actually being run live versus being pre-recorded. Yeah, because there is a bunch of people out there. This is one of the bugbears of my industry. There are a lot of people out there right now that are saying that they're running live webinars that are pre-recorded, and people are being fleeced, and it's just really, really terrible. So, thanks, Kelly. She said, I totally vouch for your advice on webinars. Yeah, you see this playing out, right, in yours whenever you run them. So the first part is like gather and create rapport. So, thank you so much. Really excited. My name's Nicola. This is what we're going to be talking about today. And then the A is where we step into setting the agenda. So here's what you're going to learn. Okay, so here's what you're going to learn today. And you step them through exactly what they're going to learn. So you're going to learn the 3 steps that you must implement in order for you to be able to complete your book. You're going to learn the 3 things every graphic designer wishes you knew before providing them with a brief. Yep. In that agenda section, you are also going to ask them permission to make an offer. The way that we do that is this. So, we're going to go through the 3 steps. You're going to learn this. I'm going to have you can ask any questions that you like. I'm going to answer every single one for you. I'm really committed to giving you the most amount of value that you could possibly have through this webinar. Now, inadvertently, what happens is that people ask me how they can get more help from me. So I'm going to let you know towards the end how we can work together, and you can make a decision whether you would like to do that or not. Does that sound okay, everyone? So we're still in the A, we're still in the agenda setting part, right? Hey, Jez. Oh, Kelly said I make a sale after everything I've implemented from you. Awesome. Mwah, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for sharing that. So we get that, and they will say, yes, I'm good. Awesome. So in the V is where we start to really work out where they are now. So what are the problems? You need to address the problems that they're facing. What are their big problems? What are their challenges? And we do that by saying, does this sound familiar? Who here has got this book idea in their head and they haven't done anything with it yet? Just let me know. Does that sound like you? you've got, you may have opened up your computer and that cursor sits there flashing at you with like, you need to write something now, and there's just nothing. You got nothing. Yet you go and lie down in bed at night and all the ideas come pouring in. Who here has experienced that? So the people, the attendees would say yes, 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 yes. So we need to identify and make sure that the people, your audience who are attending your webinars, are in the right place. So we go through and say, do you have this problem? What about this? Does this sound familiar? Great. And then we say, so, do you want this, that, and the other? So we look at the V is demonstrating the gap. So I literally, like in the V, I would imagine on your webinar preparation forms that you'll complete, you'll have a really big V, and on the left-hand side, you'll have a list of their problems, their challenges, their stress points, all of that stuff. And then over on the right, you have, what their outcomes are that they're looking for. So their goals, their dreams, their desires, their wishes. What is it that they ultimately really want? Okay, so does this sound like you? You really want to have freedom. You want to have a way of marketing yourself that feels good, that feels authentic, and not like you're trying to manipulate people into buying stuff. You want to feel really great about what you're building and creating, right? Yes, 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 yes. The people will type yes. So once you can work out and really make sure that they're in the right place, we've identified their problems, we identify their goals. Now we need to give them some action steps. So the first thing that you can do is this, and it might be 3 things. So we're still in that V section. 3 steps that you could undertake right now are number 1, number 2, number 3. You need to have a plan. You need to have accountability. You need to know what it is that you need to do if things aren't kind of working in the way that you want them to work. So really the best way to have all of that happen is by hiring a mentor or a trainer, or, whatever it is that you're doing, yeah? So, Maxine, Nicola's training delivers everything you need and much more. Thank you. And then Jeremy has worked for me for years. Thanks, Nick. Oh, you're welcome, Jess. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. So we give them some action steps because we've got to give them some value, right? We don't want to be those people that offer a free seminar or a free training, and the only way that anyone can ever get any value is only if they pay for your service or pay for your thing. I think that's when things kind of become a little bit manipulative. So have some action steps there. Once you've gone through that, I would go into Q&A. So a Q&A goes just between the V and the I. Okay, so a Q&A session. And the way that looks is like you put a big slide that says Q&A or questions, or, I don't know, a funny face of someone going, whatever it is. And you'll say, guys, so, what questions do you have? Type them in. I'd love to answer them for you. And you go ahead, they'll type you in, they'll type their questions in, and you'll answer them. Then we say something along the lines of this. So I promised that I would share a way that you and I could work together. So I'm going to let you know a little bit about that now, and then we'll go back into another Q&A at the end. So the I is all about investigating the solution. So this is where you are going to pitch your book, your course, your program, your consultancy, your product, your service. You might be pitching a one-on-one strategy session with them, a planning session with them. It really depends on what it is that you're doing. It might be a workshop. It might be another paid seminar type thing, whatever the case might be. It's in that I section where you're going to investigate the solution with them. Okay, so the key here is that it's collaborative, right? So if you know that if you've got Sienna, Shane, Greg, and Gary on the webinar, you're saying, so Gary, this is what would be really great for you based on what we've been doing. Shayna, this is what would be really awesome for you. Sandy, this is how you apply this into your makeup business. So you can really, and this is the benefit of live webinars, is that you can really help them to see how what you're offering is relevant for them. Yeah. And then it's about negotiating the next step. So N is negotiate next step. So this is how you do that. Go ahead and click that link and apply, or type your name and phone number in the text chat and we'll hop on the phone. And then at the very end, we do another Q&A. So that final Q&A, so, open this back up to questions. What questions do you have about the program or anything else that we're talking about today? And you throw it wide open and you answer everything, right? You answer everything because no one else does. They curate their questions. They make sure that everything is all very nice and tight and neat and tidy and programmed and scripted and everything else. So you can really open up the floor to any questions that come your way. If you've got someone who's being a little bit difficult, don't answer their questions. You don't have to buy into annoyingness, because if they're being annoying on a webinar, they'll probably be an annoying client. So we're not going to do that. So that's that. It's really important. So that's your structure. So you're looking at GAV. You'll give them 3 steps that they can, or 5 steps, or whatever you've promised on the thing. You'll give them some content. Then we go to Q&A. Then you've got IN and then Q&A. All right. So how long does it need to be? Well, probably a good 90 minutes. If you're looking at making a sale, then we want to think about, we respect people's time, and people need to, the other purpose of running a webinar is really to build trust. It's to build connection and to help people get to know you and get a feeling for who you are and what you're about and stuff like that. So I look at 90 minutes plus Q&A. So they might run for 2 hours. It might go an hour and 15 minutes with half an hour for Q&A or 20 minutes for Q&A. In your schedule, block out 2 hours. All right. If you're selling anything for more than $600 or $500, then it's not just about, hey, this is my stuff, blah, 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 buy my shit, I'm out of here. It takes time to build rapport with people. Okay. So that's what I would do with that. So another point is you want to make sure at different points in time throughout the webinar that you're sharing a story. Now, a great way of sharing a story is by talking about perhaps a client of yours. If you've had clients, a client of yours that achieved a really great result. And the way that you structure that story is, this is where they were, this is what they did, this is where they are now. So when Jeremy started working with me, he was making 11 grand a year in his business. It didn't know how to market and was running the risk of just turning away from it, right? Then what he did is he started working with me and he started implementing webinars and he started enrolling clients and he increased his price, and he was able to, as a result of implementing this stuff, he was able to leave his job. His wife has left her job, and they're both running this business full time, rewiring kids' brains for a living, which is pretty freaking awesome, right? So you might tell that kind of a story, or I might tell the story of Amy, who was working in corporate for years and didn't know how to use social media to grow her business, didn't know how to get more clients, and so she came to an event of mine. Now, what she did at that event was she was able to see how much value she was able to put out there in the world, and what she did 200 grand in a year working part-time in a business following this particular event. So your stories don't need to be really long, but they follow the structure, where they were, what they did, where they are now. If you haven't had clients, talk about where you were, what you did, where you are now as a result of learning the stuff that you know and what you're trying to talk about and sell and stuff like that. So Jeremy said, I find it hard to stick to the 90 minutes. It's always over. Yeah, I'm the same. Generally mine go for probably just shy of 2 hours, like maybe 10 minutes shy of 2 hours. It's just kind of how they go. Now, the great thing about this is that once you've got a webinar that works, and it can take half a dozen times of running it to find out if it works or not, once you've got one that works, it might work for you for the next 4 years. It might work for you for the next 6 months. You might tweak the title a little. You might tweak the content a little. You might tweak your offer a little. But essentially, the webinar, once you've got one working, the webinar that you run month in, month out, week in, week out, year on year, may actually be the same webinar. Now, the thing here is that we're always bringing new people in, right? There are always new people responding to your emails. And the other part about that is that I know that there are some people, some clients of mine, that will sit on my webinars over and over again because they hear something slightly different that throws another little skew on it. Micro adjustments. Exactly, Jeremy. So it might be just that, I hadn't thought about it like that. And that opens up a whole brand new neural pathway for them. And maybe the 7th time that they've looked at it, it's like, oh my God, yes, now I need to buy if they haven't already bought. Tamara said, that's me. Exactly, right? So, the more we can be consistent, the more we can show up, and be live, the more we can have the camera on your face. Your people are going to see that. They'll see your heart. They will know that you're someone that they can trust, that they can listen to, that they can learn from, most importantly. And I think the kicker here is that they can see that you are able to solve their problems, right? That's really the big thing. They need to know that you can solve their problems. Otherwise, you're someone who's inspiring, but they'll never pay you, right? So that's that. If you guys have any questions about any of this, please let me know. All the systems that I use GoToWebinar. You can use anything that you like. I find GoToWebinar to be the most reliable platform possible. I advertise webinars through Facebook ads. I also let my email list know. I've culled it back down to about 12,500. So I will email my list and say, hey, I'm running this webinar. You might like to join. These are the problems that we're solving. Do you want to come and hang out? So that's me for a Rockin' Tuesday on how to run webinars. If you have any questions, please make sure you type them below. Let me know. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Leave them below. I'd love to answer them for you. It's been really great. Thank you so much for your patience with me getting on here live. # traveling and the fun and games that comes along with that. Have a beautiful and amazing afternoon. I am going to endeavor to do a live tomorrow. I'm actually working at a client's stand at an expo tomorrow, so I'm putting on my my kind of like employee hat. I'm really excited about it. Helping them man a stand at the exhibition centre here in Melbourne. So I will do my best to come to you live at 9 for a Q&A Wednesday. I will keep you apprised of that tomorrow morning, but I am back and home again for a little while on Thursday. So we'll jump back into How To Thursday. So I'm Nicola. Thanks for hanging out. This has been Becoming Professionally Famous Online, Season 4, Episode number 7, all about webinars. Take care, everyone. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.